Okay, so you acquired a business and you found fraud. Now what? First and foremost, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what to do on the legal side. I called my lawyer almost immediately. I documented everything, emailed it to him and myself to time and date stamp everything, and then go from there. Second thing I did was I contacted my E&O provider. I'm my insurance agent for obvious reasons, but I contacted my E&O provider, let them know, made some disclosures. We're totally good. They said, you've done nothing wrong. We took actions to rectify any non-compliance that we were in, because as soon as we found out, we were on the hook for the fraud. But as soon as we talked to the customer and addressed the issues, the choices they made were theirs, and ultimately if they move forward with something or not. So essentially what we found was we found a certificate of insurance that had been manipulated by a member of the previous team. So before the acquisition. So there was a certificate of insurance showcasing all their policies. There was a cert request made by a vendor for that carrier or for that, and it asked for policies that they didn't have. And the agency tried to defend the coverages they had. It didn't actually have the coverage they were asking for. So what they did was they just fraudulently found a policy number and made up a number and put it on there with some made up dates and sent that certificate over. So number one, huge no-no. Number two, huge no-no. Number three, what the actual? Anyways, so on our end, we found some fraud. We documented the ever-loving snot out of it. We made sure our attorneys knew. We made sure our E&O carriers knew. We talked immediately to the clients saying, hey, we've got this certificate request from this company asking for policies that you don't have. This is what we found in the system. It shows that there could have been a policy in the past, but we don't see any documentation of it. How do you want to proceed? So what we did is we evaluated the system. We notified the people that mattered on our end because we clearly found documentation for policies that didn't exist. And we talked to the customer. The minute we talked to that client, we were able to take that risk off of our shoulders because now they know that they don't have that coverage. Ultimately, the certificate requester is not someone they work with anymore. So it's not a policy they needed. And they elected, our client that is, they elected not to continue that coverage and move forward. So ultimately, we built a better relationship with our client by having a real and honest conversation about the coverages, what they needed, what they expected, how expensive it was. It wasn't expensive. It would have been about $300-400 a year for this extra line of coverage, but it was big. And they couldn't work with that provider if they didn't have it. So ultimately, guys, if you're out there and if you're a business owner, fraud is a big deal. Making sure that everything's on the up and up. There's a couple things to do. If obviously we're an insurance agency, so we didn't have to call our agent. We called our carrier directly. If you find it, clearly document it, talk to your attorney, figure out what they want you to do. Second is definitely notify your insurance agent. They're going to have some steps they want to take just to make sure things are documented in case things blow back on you. But if you don't know, my name is Patrick McBride. I am an insurance agent here in Illinois. Our goal this year is to recruit, coach, and acquire. Obviously, we're talking about some acquisition, so it's big on my mind, and I want to make sure we get some of that stuff kind of documented on this end as we acquire some new businesses. So I hope you're doing well out there, and we'll see you in the comments.